you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron and your breath's as hard as kerosene. You weren't your mama's only boy, but a favorite one it seems. She began to cry when you said goodbye and sank into your dreams. Pancho was a bandit boy, rode a horse fast as polished steel, wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, you know, in the desert down in Mexico. Nobody heard his dying words. That's the way it goes. All the Federalists say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. Lefty, he don't sing the blues all night long like he used to. Does that Pancho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth? The day they let poor Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. There ain't nobody knows. All the Federalists say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away out of kindness, I suppose. Poets tell how Pancho fell. Lefty's living in a cheap hotel. The desert's quiet and Cleveland's cold, and so the story ends, we're told. Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, but save a few for Lefty too. He only did what he had to do, and now he's growing old. All the Federalists say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so long out of kindness, I suppose. A few great Federalists say they could have had him any day. They only let him hang around out of kindness, I suppose. Shout out!
Shout out.
Thank you, friends, so much for joining us for another Sugar Lime Blue Sunday Shout-Out. This is Dave. I'm Ashley of Sugar Lime Blue, and this Sunday Shout-Out is a retro Sunday Shout-Out going back out to that guy, Rick. That guy, Rick, we hope you re-enjoyed your shout-out. We'll see everybody next week with another one. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, ring the bell. Once you subscribe, you'll see a little bell icon come up. Push that button, and that will send you notifications when we release new videos. So we'll see you next week with another one. Shout out.
Shout out.
They say, take that house and burn it down.
Hey, good job. Shout out. So, Towns Van Zandt. Pancho and Lefty. It's a good song. I think we should play it live.
It's nice. I like it. Well, my first listening, though, I will say, was not Townes Van Zandt.
No?
It was Willie Nelson.
And Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
Blue-eyed Merle.
Yeah. So, but I did read up on Townes Van Zandt and this song.
Yeah, he's like a very revered songwriter.
Yeah. Well, he said this song came to him through a window.
Just flew in through the window.
Just flew in through the window.
I get it, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've had songs like that before that just, we call it downloaded. It's just sort of straight into the brain. Right there. It's all
it's
together.
Like the whole idea is a complete thought rather than thoughts that you have to string together and then kind of work out into one song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes it's, you would think that maybe the ones that come all at once are always better, but they're not always better,
No, I think that's because it feels like they need the least revision.
It's like...
and maybe the revising process actually hones a better product in the end.
Yeah, and it's like then you have people like Robert Hunter who wrote like songs like Ripple and Broke Down Palace and like 3 or 4 songs in one night in Europe. Of like
who knows?
High stature.
That kind of thing. Yeah. I just...
That's prolific.
Yeah.
Right there. So... Yeah, no, I think I've always liked Townes Van Zandt since I got into him. I like a lot of his songs, and
so confession.
Yeah.
I've listened to this song for a while, but according to what I read about Townes Van Zandt's feeling about the lyrics and the inspiration behind it and what they meant to him, I was just wrong about some things. Like I had the relationship of Pancho and Lefty very different than he said it was, and also Pancho's ending was different than what I had imagined. So this like speaks to some of what I feel like with our music. I usually don't tell the story of our songs, of our original songs, because I want people to form their own ideas about what the song means. So for me, this was Pancho and Lefty were buddies, but they were bandits and they stole some money, but Pancho got caught up in some stuff and got murdered, and Pancho and Lefty like just took all of the loot that they had gathered and headed out to live out his days, but he had survivor's guilt and like spent all the money on just living, and he was getting old.
So you thought they were buddies?
I thought they were buddies.
That's strange, because I always thought it was a double cross.
Well, that's what Townes said. He said he was sucker punched by Lefty, and...
Well, the line that made me always think that was the bit about the dust that Pancho bit down south
ended up in Lefty's mouth.
It made me think it was like some type of
double crossing.
Yeah, double crossing or.
But I always thought that meant that he was just really sad that his friend died and had survivor's guilt over that. So he couldn't sing like he used to. He didn't have that kind of, even the blues. To sing the blues, you have to have had a heartbreak, I think. But also to sing it all, you have to have some sort of joy in your spirit. So. Like, he didn't sing anymore since his friend died. Goodness.
Sorry.
So, yeah. And then also, I thought the dust he bit was he died and was left laying in the dirt, when Townes said, no, he was hung. And that's what that last chorus was about. They left him hanging around. I don't know how that's kind, but...
Maybe, like, he bit the dust as in...
Died. I get that.
I thought that, yeah.
But that was not the picture I had painted in my head.
Interesting, yeah.
I had a completely different movie.
I guess I had different ideas. I had a couple different ideas, and none of them were completely fleshed out, because I don't think I really set to flesh it out. But I love songs like this. Story songs are my favorite songs.
I know.
And I was surprised that the Grateful Dead never covered this song, honestly. I always thought that this would be like right in their wheelhouse for all especially the Bobby country songs.
Yeah.
So
has Government Mule covered it?
I don't know. They cover everything, don't they?
They do.
But
I'd be surprised if they hadn't.
I thought it fit right into his cowboy theme.
Yeah, songs. He did have a bit of that.
But yeah, I mean, it's a great song. I think it. great Texas songwriter and great cowboy song. You know, I think we did another Towns Van Zandt song too.
Yeah, we did. Don't ask me what. I'd have to look it up.
I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I think we've done another one.
It was a story song too. If I remember so. Properly.
Yeah, I know that was the one we had a hard time with, or I did, because it had the Travis picking style in it.
Ah.
But I really enjoyed covering the song.
Well, to take a bit of a swerve in the road, cowboys, horses, mules. I'm wearing my new shirt from the Tilted Mule.
Nice.
It's a cool, it's a cool venue we just played at last week.
Yeah, local for us. Yep. So when we're in town, we try to play some local venues. Yeah. And that's always a lot of fun. And another time, we're going to see Government Mule on Friday. The Ryman Auditorium. Woo. Next Friday.
Yeah.
This Friday.
Well, more mule references, I guess we're saying.
So, cool mule things.
Cool mule.
I did think it was interesting that a lot of people say it's about Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa. And although he kind of, like in the interview, he said that people say that it's about that. He's like, I don't think, he kind of gave a funny answer. He said,
I never knew what it was about until I heard the story. It's like almost a prophetic, past prophetic.
Yeah, it's like,
what would you?
Yeah, he didn't
know the story, but he got
maybe
the story.
He knew it in school or something, or just kind of,
or ran around in his subconscious.
Maybe he didn't know the story, but then he wrote it, and then he was like, oh yeah, it is about Pancho Villa.
Oh, in that same interview, I found this really intriguing. He said that Pancho Villa actually had a friend whose nickname in Spanish was Lefty.
Yeah.
Go figure. That was a little spooky.
That is kind of cool. That is very cool.
Also, I don't know if it's true or not. It was just in an interview that I read. I found it intriguing.
Very cool.
He was a little tongue-in-cheek in the interview, though, so there's no telling.
Yeah, he was a little... I liked his interview style.
I did, too.
I found it entertaining, even though we were just reading it.
I enjoyed some of the little quips he said, and his explanation of the song just coming in through the window. I like that.
That is a very relatable thing songwriters probably, and poets or people write.
Did I ever tell you about the poet? I'll have to go back and look up her name, but she, gosh, I can't remember a lot of her story because this imagery was so big in my mind that I vetoed the rest of the information that was given in the talk. But she was a poet, and she would be out working in the fields, getting vegetables and things, just working in the fields, and she said she could feel a poem coming on, and she would have to race the poem to her house to get pen and paper to write it down, otherwise it would fly through her and she couldn't catch it. So if she would race the poem coming on the wind, she would race the poem coming on the wind to her house to get the pen and paper or pencil and paper and write it down before it disappeared. And she said sometimes, and this was the part I went, what? Sometimes she had to catch it by the tail because it was almost on the way out.
Yeah.
And those poems she would write word for word, backward, and have to revise them to be the right way around because she caught them by the tail.
That's fun.
Amazing. Yeah.
Who was that poet? Do you know?
I'll have to look up her name again. Yeah, but I really love that explanation because there are times when I feel like I need to, hike up my skirts and run for the house to go write down lyrics, or they'll just disappear into the ethos.
Yeah, you don't want to lose them.
Yeah, or they'll go on to the next artist.
It's kind of like when you have one in a dream and you write a song and then you wake up and you're searching for it.
And it's disappeared.
Right, it's kind of right there. You know it was good.
Yeah.
You kind of have this essence of a song.
Yeah. It's like the aftertaste of a food or a drink, but not the actual flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to lose one, which she talked about lamenting losing poems as well.
That is a bummer.
Yeah. Because you have felt its presence and then its loss.
Yeah, it's like, that's kind of like what it is in a dream. It's like you write a song, you hear the song, but it's like you just heard a song for the first time on the radio, maybe, but it was in the other room.
Yes.
And then you need to recite it word for word.
Yeah.
And that's kind of disappointing because it's almost impossible to do that
unless
somehow or another through preparation of the mind and whatever you've learned the song already in your dream, and then you wake up and you have the whole song. And you're like, oh, I got a whole song.
I do keep pen and paper next to my
Always
bed.
Be prepared.
Just in case. Just in case the song comes flitting in through the window.
You sure you weren't a Girl Scout? Always prepared.
I think that's just Boy Scouts.
You're super prepared, though, going on the road.
I do enjoy
to be prepared.
Yeah.